Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live edition of Mike's Market Update. I am Mike Renick. I am a broker associate with Keller Williams on the Water, based here in Sarasota. I am also the senior broker and the team lead for Team Renick Real Estate Services. Let me see if I can get that banner off the screen. There we go. Today, we're going to talk about Longboat Key in terms of the current market. The May statistics are out. We'll take a look to see if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. That's imperative as you move forward, whether you're contemplating selling or buying or you're currently active in both. It's important to understand where the market is so you can best leverage it, because behavior is different depending whether you're a buyer or seller, depending on what kind of market it is. So if I can hit the right buttons here and I can bring this up, there we go. So right now, my plans, and this is subject to change. Let me know what areas you'd like to cover. I can do it from a broader respective. I call it a macro look at it, covering cities or counties. I can drill down into subdivisions, and I can go down to condo associations. I can do it by zip code. Lots of ways we can look at this. At Team Renick, we service 12 communities, and we study all 12 of them on a weekly basis. I just don't know how to operate effectively for a client if we don't understand the market. So let's get forward. Again, send your requests, though. We can deviate from this schedule. It's out there only as a straw man, a target, if you would. We can make any changes so that we're talking about what you want to talk about so you get the information that you need. Looking at Longboat Key, in the month of May, there were 67 units that were sold. That's down a little bit. There was 70 last month. And there was 38 last year, so it's up from last year. That's good news. There's an upward trend. The inventory, as we ended the month, was 357 properties. There was 365 last month, so that's down a little bit. It's down quite a bit from 430. So we're seeing sales move forward, upwards. We see inventory kind of shrinking right now. That automatically, from a high level, says that favors the seller. It doesn't mean you can't buy and get a good opportunity. There's ways to do that. Let's look at future sales out there in terms of what's under contract. We call it pending. There was 41 as we closed May. That's down substantially from the 75 that we saw last month, but it's up quite a bit from 38 last year. Now, when we look at last month, which would have been April, remember that's kind of the end of our huge selling season. So we do expect to see some of the numbers to drop off somewhat. Here's a secret, though, that a lot of folks don't understand. Looking at the data over time, many times for Longboat Key, the highest number of closings occur in July and August. So we've got some good days ahead of us here. It doesn't mean it has to be winter months to do either. Let's find out what's happening to price right now. When we look at the dollar per square foot to try to get the big homes equal with the little homes and those type of things, that should say May. That's a typo there. I missed that month. I'll get that fixed. In May, the average sold per square foot was $488. That's up from the $473 that we had last month, and it's up from the $441 that we had last year. So those are the month of May statistics. I apologize. I thought I had caught all of that. So the summary here is prices are up. Days on the market. How long is it taking to get something sold? So as we ended May, it was 153 days. That's up from 128 days we saw on average last month. It's also up from 118 days last year. So sales are increasing, inventory is falling. Days on the market are going up a little bit. Let's look at the average prices they're asking for sale. So as we closed May, it was $1,077,000, the for sale prices. That's down a little bit from the $1.102 million, $1,102,000 we saw last month on an average. Last year at this time, we saw $1,129,000. So that's down a little bit. Looking at what's sold, though, overall, not on a dollar per square foot like we looked at a minute ago. When we look at what's sold, it was $936,000. That's up from $811,000 last month. It's also up from the $781,000 last year. So the mix of the homes and the condos that were sold this year versus last year are higher prices. If we take a look at the amount of months of inventory, for example, when inventory is lower, that's going to benefit your sellers. When the inventory levels are higher, it's going to benefit the buyers. So when we look at it, looking at our recent sales and the amount of units that's for sale, it would take 5.3 months, as we looked at the numbers at the end of May, to clear out all the inventory if nothing new came on the market. That's up just a little bit from 5.2 last month, and it's down though substantially from last year. So we'd like to see a healthy number here. They actually say it's a buyer's market if it's more than 6 months. It's a seller's market if it's less than 3 months. Well, we're seeing 5, so we're seeing something right in the middle there. Absorption rate. What percent are things being absorbed in terms of the, you look at the actual listing and you look at the sales, we see that the absorption rate was 18.8% as things closed last month. That's down a little bit from 19.2% the month before, and it is up 55% from last year. So we like to see a higher absorption rate instead of a lower one. That means the inventory is turning faster. Things are coming on the market. They're being absorbed by the sales on a quicker pace. The higher the percent, the better there. So this is what we have right now. This is the city of Longboat Key. It's published data as of May 2018. It's all residential property types. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out. This is being recorded, and this will be published as a blog on my website. Feel free to come back. But the key is, how can we help you? What's the best way to do that right now? What kind of data are you looking for? We do this every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern time. We pick a different part of our service area, and we share that with everyone. So feel free to reach out. Let me know how we can best help. What's the type of information that you're looking for? How can we be best of service? My email is mike@teamrenick.com. My personal cell, that way you don't have to go through the office phone number, is 941-400-8735. Thanks, everyone. Take care.